they need to optimize into something that's going like the fact that they haven't banned out the Bane is really surprising to me for T1. I mean, I feel like it's just going to be a really solid pick coming out for Execration. We just saw Vincenzo did a great job on it that time around with a lot of the Nightmare saves. He had a really tough time trying to
10
counter
seconds
multiple ways to
remaining.
be able to get rid of his Fiend's Grip. This game, I feel like you are very
5
specifically
seconds
reserving the Fiend's
remaining.
Grip to stop Razor from just running at you. So sit on the back lines. Even if he has BKB, you can Fiend's Grip him. Shadow Demon's probably not going to be in a position to be able to stop that from
Dire
happening unless
team
he gets like
pick.
a Blink Dagger, in which case, probably going to be pretty rough. But yeah, I feel like this is a great Bane game so far.
Yeah, I mean, it sets you up for a pretty strong safe lane if you want to go TA Bane, which we've seen multiple times. You know,
10
Bane can
seconds remaining.
very
5
awkward in
seconds
how you
remaining.
arrange here, but you can also often play like a melee with how much damage you're able to tank and how aggressive you can play in the lane. And for a ranged carry, that's definitely something you're requiring. But now it's just on the back of Execration. You have to go heroes that are able to really mitigate what the Raze is going to do as the game goes on. Like, you need some supports that are going to build force staffs and Yules potentially. You need some repositioning, and Snapfire is honestly, I'm a big fan of that pick. I think you you agree? I saw a little bit of shaking
I
the
think
head
it's okay.
there. Okay.
I think it's okay. Like it's just it doesn't build any of those things. Love the Night Stalker pick. Absolutely love it. I still think Bane is the hero to come out for Execration here, but maybe not so much anymore now that you're coming up against this Night Stalker. He's going to be able to get it onto the back lines. It feels like there's
10
very little
seconds
place for people
remaining.
to run now on Execration, right? Razor's going to be running it you from the front,
5
Night
seconds
Stalker from the
remaining.
back. At the early game, it's going to be Io paired together with a Night Stalker. Later on, it's going to be the Razor just to increase his movement speed even further. So, yeah, this is a rough game for Execration to play regardless of whatever support they go for. I mean, what do you even pick into this, to be honest? Like,
Go Bloodseeker.
right?
Turn to bat.
Beastmaster.
Don't hate it. Does this mean this is a tied 5? I wouldn't hate that either. A lot more survivable. They've switched it up a little bit here. Means that against the Razor, it's not quite as terrible.
Dire team ban.
Hmm.
T1's
And,
turn
and
to
I suppose with the
ban.
Beastmaster, you get a lot of that vision. You've of course got the TA as well to pair together with that. I don't think you can disrupt her though. Like this is most likely a 5 Tide Hunter, a 4 Snapfire, a offlane Beastmaster. We don't know where the TA is going to be yet, but most likely going to be the position 1, considering it'll be up against the
10
Night Stalker.
seconds remaining.
So just the mid lane hero left for Execration, and T1 are
5
kind of along the
seconds
same
remaining.
wavelength there, banning out the Bat Rider. Puck's already gone, Lena's already gone.
Pop's
So it's
gone.
just about getting the best laning matchup so far. And Kunkka is one of those heroes that has very few weaknesses. So I feel like we're probably going to see, if not one, maybe 2
Dire team
Storm,
ban.
Spirit heroes coming out in this phase for both T1 and Execration.
T1's turn
Are
to
you happy with the Razor matchup into Beastmaster? Like, is that going to be a lane you feel like will do well, or are you thinking keep the flexibility, maybe go for like a hero here that can go between the position 1 and 2 for T1?
Okay, I feel like when you've
10
got a Shadow
seconds
Demon, it's
remaining.
just like static link into Disruption, get a lot of the damage, and
5 seconds
it's going to
remaining.
be relatively hard for you to take
Dire
out those
team
boars,
pick.
though. You have
Ice King.
actually changing this up a little bit. Is this a... What are they doing here?
On
So is this a
T1?
mid-Razor, and then it's going to be an Io Night Stalker, and then a Wraith King Shadow Demon?
Yep.
Yeah, I guess.
10
I suppose once you get to a certain point, you don't need too many hits onto the board to be able to kill it as the Wraith King, right? You
5
can just
seconds
almost
remaining.
one-shot him at a certain stage.
Imber Spirit.
You may
Do
now
go down the
select your
Spirit
Alright, before you say
path.
anything, I'm Execration. Actually,
What's wrong?
well, I did like this Razor pick a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. Now it's putting me. Now it's putting me in quite the predicament. Actually, I think T1 have atrocious team fighting, and their pickup potential across the map is a bit rough as well. It doesn't look like a. It's a very awkward Ira draft. This hero needs stuns. You need team fight. You need initiation, and you've got a little bit of that, but you don't really have solid ways. And I think Execration, their lineup looks a lot easier to execute. You're going to itemize for mobility to kite out of the Night Stalker, kite out of the Razor. And if you literally just waste the jump from Night Stalker, and if you waste the Static Link, then I think Execration will absolutely dumpster team fights. They've got Vision to enable that, and you've got Ravage and Mortimer Kisses. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like this is going to be a bit of an interesting game, right? Because Execration, of course, you've got a Beastmaster, right? You've got a TA. These are heroes that are able to get active super early on and push and take a lot of these objectives. But T1, they have a pretty farm-centric draft for the super early stages of the game, at least in my opinion, right? Because I don't think you can look to take a team fight reliably, like in a full 5-on-5 skirmish, until Cuckoo has BKB. Once he's got that, you can pop the Dark Ascension. Previously, I was going to say you find the Tidehunter or the Snapfire, but now I feel like you need to get in onto the Beastmaster. So I feel like you're going to try and synergize together the Night Stalker and the Razor BKB timings and allow Razor to actually run at somebody. Because if you take out the Beastmaster, nothing's going to be able to stop that. It's just, are you going to have lost too many objectives? Are you going to be too far behind at that stage to make that a possibility?
I'm definitely, I know with what I'm saying, I'm backtracking a little bit, which is, so like now I've, gotta speak my mind a little bit. I gotta tell Danog to shut up and just for me to have the floor for, a couple minutes here. I kind of like
you're indecisive.
I'm indecisive, honestly. Well, I saw the Razor like first phase into a tied TA, and I'm like, I don't care how the rest of the draft goes. T1 are gonna win this game. Like you
But
just.
then Tides of 5.
But then Tides of 5, but also like T1 have a real. Thank you, Carl. Now I can speak a little bit more. I appreciate that.
No, not the Carl Internet, not again.
Oh, yikers! It's just. I think T1 have a big window with being able to run over this game off the back of, Wraith King pushing towers super early, TA needs 20 minutes, you're going to have a tied Snapfire support duo, so you're very ultimate reliant. Beastmaster can't really make plays, so this game is really on Embot to try and get you in a position where Execration can scale into the later stages. So I think, like, there is no doubt in my mind Carl is going to have a really, really good lane versus Bob. It doesn't matter because he doesn't have any mobility. So I think that's a big weakness for Execration. I'm still going to go for the boys on Dire. I just think their lineup's a lot easier to execute. I might go back for Team 1 if they get this first blood, which it looks like they are going to get the first blood.
And importantly, they give it to Carl as well. They make sure that it's this Razor that's able to get it.
So are you on the same boat that you kind of feel like Execration feels like their lineup's a little bit easier to execute, but for T1 it seems like they could still take over this game and just run right through it with their lanes?
Just what I needed.
I think the lanes are going to be fine for T1. It's just what they do with that. Because again, I think they're going to be quite passive. They're going to want to get out of that stage, the laning stage, and say, right, well, because of how good of a start we've had, they're not going to be able to actually take anything away from us, like in terms of like their Beastmaster lineup that they've gone for. Whitemon actually gets the bounty.
Dude, Whitemon. Oh, he's like, all right, we already got first blood. I guess if I die, maybe it's, I get the bounty. I'm happy with that. And...
What a Chad.
Oh, Vincenzo.
What an absolute Chad.
So they get, no, okay, they got 3. There's still 1 standing. Like, I think, again, going back, Bob is going to be the big reason if Execration can make it through this scary stage in this game. And looking at it a little bit more now, I mean, he's got a really rough matchup versus Razor. So all the odds are Sack versus Bob.
It depends, right? Like, have they gotten... they haven't blocked any of the small camps or anything like that. But you can use the Sleight of Fist to actually get rid of the static link, as long as you're linking Sleight of Fisting enough away. I just don't think that's going to be very common in this mid lane, right? Unless you've got a small camp that you run to and look to use the Sleight of Fist onto that.
Oh.
Yeah, I think lanes should go well for T1. I think that's going to do enough to stop Execration from getting that huge lead that I was talking about before, that's going to enable them to go into these early pushes with great effectiveness. And it's just going to be a matter of where is T1 going to cut their losses, because outside of the Razor, nobody deals with push. and you don't really want to put this Razor there. It's just as important for him to get the BKBs. So I wonder how many lanes they're just going to straight up abandon or go for trades.
So do you feel like there might be a bit of an issue on how Tier 1 are able to deal with the summon push?
Yeah, I think there's a huge issue, right? Like, what does a Night Stalker do? What does an IO do? What does a Shadow Demon do? What does a Wraith King do?
What does a Razor do as well, I suppose?
You got Plasma Field, it's okay.
Yeah, but like, he's not a side, like, lane clearing hero. Like, if you don't go Boots of Travel...
Yeah, you see what... Did you have the camera on mid there, just for Bob and
not.
Carl? It's all right. So
Did
anyway, he was getting chased.
Small?
Yeah. He slided the small camp. So that's exactly the way that you want to play. A lot of the times, these Ember Spirits are going to be wanting to, shove the lane out and then look to move back to that just to secure their farm even further. But Bob, his main priority is just being able to survive, particularly because he's up against Carl, who got the first blood. They missed the cookie, though, on the bottom side, and that's probably going to cost Samael his life, maybe? No. The boar is just going to be able to slow enough to have him get away.
Are you kind of surprised that T1 actually haven't... Oh, Carl, is he going to go for this?
I mean, he's inside an entire creep wave. You got to be very
Carl,
careful.
He's got Bottle Charge and Fairy Fire, I suppose. He's like, all right, I'll just tank up through all this. Try and bully him out. Are you surprised that they didn't block the small camp? Because now it's just seeming like it's more and more value into the Razor lane. I mean, you said that the reasons of being able to get rid of the static link, but also if you're shoved out, that's where you're farming. So to me, it seems surprising. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of being able to block it up. To be fair, they placed the Observer Ward down, so they would have maybe seen any kind of movement towards that sort of area. They placed it really early when Marb ended up giving up that first blood into the game, but I still think it's a bit of a mistake, the fact that they've been able to get away with that.
Sapphire's got 8 stacks, so Whitemon's been just taking his time to slowly build up this poison, and now he gets a solo kill, so free experience, free gold. 4th position 5.
The Chad, man. Whitemon's a great player.
We're also got another kill up top. Vincenzo gonna end up going down on the Tidehunter. This is a good start, at least for the Night Stalker as well. Definitely someone who's a lot weaker through the first 5 minutes, but if you're able to find your levels and a little bit of gold to maybe get phase boots by the first nighttime timing, then you are really happy.
Looking to do. He's going straight into the phase boots. Don't hate it, but again, I need to see this BKB nice and early for Kuku. I don't think you can even afford to go into like some of the value items. He's fine. I think even the Echo Saber is probably going to be a little bit too much. I want to see a straight BKB on this so that you can look to take these team fights and with the Razor assisting with you.
Are you then maybe expecting... Kuku's getting chased down? He should be okay. I mean, you're not really targeting the IO, so there's always big issues with... You don't kill the IO, you don't really kill the other hero. What do you anticipate then Gabby's build to be? Like, if you're asking for a really early BKB on the Night Stalker, do you feel like the rest of T1 have to kind of mirror this and go for other items to really come online together?
I think for Gabby, he could probably afford to be a tiny bit greedier. Like, you could use the remaining 4 heroes to be the ones that contest against this heavy push. And then again, it's just about what you're going to be able to get in a trade in exchange for what they're actually trying to do on your side of the map. So whatever's going to allow Gabby to farm quicker and, most importantly for me, take towers quicker in the super early stages to enable him to farm further. It's like a snowballing effect. That's what I want to see him doing.
We saw previously lane Bob getting dived, and there we go. Carl finally able to pick up a solo kill into the Ember Spirit. Looks like he's going to get away with his life as well. Now top lane, even Marb's in trouble, but Vincenzo's going to step in to provide some assistance.
They're going for a kill on this bot side. They know the Snapfire TP'd.
He's got 3 poison stacks. Make it a 4th now, and Whitemon's got plenty of mana to continue to spam out here. Gotta look for one more charge, and that'll be enough damage to secure another kill for the Shadow Demon.
What a god. Whitemon, the W god, coming through. And, well, this will be a big help for Bob, though. Obviously, having a rough laning stage into the Razor, he's got a haste rune on the bottom side, so would have hated to give that up, but at least now he's going to be able to just pop that and run away.
I guess he's got level 6 now as well, so that's the big thing. I mean, pre-level 6, Ember's always going to struggle. You do see there's over 1,000 disparity between the position twos, though. So
he needs that mana for farming. I don't think he can afford to use it, you know, just to be able to run away from a Razor.
and we're seeing just that. Carl's like, all right, I'm a static link. If you're not going to use anything, then at least force out a lot of your damage and slow down that farm. So top lane, let's see if they look to connect. They do have this catapult pushed in. Looks like maybe it's a little bit too late for the rest of T1 to show up, though.
Cuckoo's trying to tank up some of these tower hits there. Of course, he's got the IO paired together with him. Overcharge up in another second. It's just about protecting that siege creep for as long as possible. Looks like they might have done it. So lots of passive damage coming into this. This is really what I wanted
Mid
to
lane,
see
Carl
as well.
is getting dived at the moment from Execration. While playing around with the haste, is able to step in and out. So they force out a TP from Whitemon. That'll be all she wrote.
A good amount of damage done for that first siege creep by Cuckoo on the top side. So yeah, what I was really wanting to see, it means that once Gabby looks to rotate away from this lane, once the pushing power really does start to come online, and that'll be once you see the Helm of the Dominator come down on S-God, he's only about 150 gold away, you can maybe look to take one of these tier 1 towers on the top side as this Wraith King.
Might be in trouble. Yeah, he's already lost his refraction charges. They do not have detection, though. It's always going to be the one deterring factor, so they're just going to stick around and be like, all right, you're not farming. Let's just farm right next to him. Mom's like, all right, I've had enough. I may as well just show myself, but he still doesn't have enough mana for the refraction, so that'll be a kill for Cuckoo. And this is without him needing to use the ultimate as well, so this is another big victory for T1.
About that decision, I mean, they had the couriers coming out, of course, with the dust as well as the sentries, but maybe could have had someone else rotate through. I guess seeing that Samael didn't have the TP available for himself, he's walking around without one right now.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Have they got stacks as well? Okay, yeah, they got... The mob's gonna TP back top. Don't you just run top now if you're Razor?
You probably consider it, yeah. I mean, being able to take him out, maybe he wants to go for one more stack for, you know, even like a stack-taking lineup, though, on T1. Maybe just wanting the small camp and perhaps the hard, just so that you can make the most of these Tier 1 neutral items when you're looking to make these pushes or take these 4v5 engagements, which I feel like they're going to want to do pretty damn shortly. S-God's got his Helm of the Dominator. He's been able to take over that Hellbear Smasher. And you can see here, Gabby, he's probably going to retreat away from the lane once he finishes the small camp.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, it is just Radiant getting a ridiculous amount of farm across the lanes. They're about to be 10 minutes in. They've got a 4,000 net worth advantage off the back of their 6-0 kill score at the moment. They're looking to add another one to the tally. Cuckoo and Zephyr just being such a nuisance, continuing to invade the jungle and really take away what little farm they can over, you know, from mob. Look at this.
Yeah,
and now we go.
As well.
Yeah. I mean, they saved Bruce refraction previously. It's going to be back up in a couple of seconds, but it will not matter. As Cuckoo finds a killing spree, simultaneously bottom lane, we're going to see Carl rotating down. You provide his stamp on this side of the map as S-God. There will be no escape for the Beastmaster. They'll even get rid of the Helm Dom creep as well. So, I mean, T1 continuing to look dominant.
They're just not playing around their strengths right now, right? Like, you've got this Beastmaster, you need to be pairing together with the rest of your heroes. Maybe just feeling like, okay, until level 6 on the Tidehunter and the Snapfire, we can't really afford to do that. But until that point, like, if Beastmaster's the one that's getting dived on, sure, you can roar the Razor, but you've got plenty of other ways to lock him down. We saw there the Disruption, we saw the stun coming through from the Wraith King. I really feel like these supports do need to be playing a little bit more around S-God.
Yeah, even the Ember, but this is kind of the issue about his lane matchup versus the Razor. I mean, he's so far behind in net worth, went for the 0-4-4 build. Actually, sorry, 0-4-3. So it felt like, you know, Bob was needing a little bit of catch-up before he could really provide some issues across the map for T1. And I was saying that I think this game is going to be heavily reliant on the Ember to make the plays, but into that losing lane, we're seeing how difficult it is for him, and you're really slowing down what Bob's able to do for the boys on Execration.
Even maybe try and defend this? I mean, you got a siege creep. It is daytime, I suppose, which is a little bit of a worry. Cuckoo not with the Dark Ascension either, but a little bit surprised that T1 felt that they could look to defend that, making a 4-man rotation towards this bottom side.
They're trying to find the remnant location.
Moon of haste.
They've seen it on the back line. Gabby, of course, has the ultimate ready to rock and roll, with even Zephyr's looking to show up as well, and Execration. I mean, they just overstepped the boundary, diving past the remnants of the tier 1 tower, and they're going to be penalized for it. Even though there's no objective there, it just doesn't even matter. With the boys at tier 1 bringing the numbers, and still no deaths as well.
So that's twice now that you haven't had the entire tier 1 team there. You've had your Helm of the Dominator creep die. At least that time around, you had the rest of the team with you. But yeah, diving way too far, not playing with the Beastmaster, 2 wasted roars. It's not the ideal way that you want to take this game. And I feel like if they make another one of those failed attempts, it's just going to be straight GG. Like, you've got good team fight, sure, but they're just not executing it well at all. So Vincenzo, he's going to farm this top lane. He's going to get rid of the siege creep. He's going to have his level 6. Maybe you just have to wait for the Beastmaster roar again. And then you go. If you can't find another kill, I just don't see how Execration are going to be able to come back into this.
And I guess this is kind of the issue with having a tied support. Like, you... I guess Blink this game's not the worst, because you're going to have, what, 3 cores that really just run at you on T1. So maybe you'll get a decent Ravage off, but still, what do you do pre-level 6? And we're seeing this be a huge window for T1 where they can get whatever they want across the map. They are just bullying Execration into submission, and you know, they got, again, this huge net worth lead off the back of it.
Let's do this.
Yeah, not ideal. I mean, that team fight also means that Gabby finishes up his armlet. Decent timing coming through from it.
Escort tipped Carl, and Carl dropped in the question mark. And Escort's like, love me. And this is where I say, why aren't you able to translate for me? Because I don't know what that means.
What do you think "pak you" means?
Come on, man. You can't say that on stream.
I mean, I'm just saying what he said.
Dude, doesn't mean you can say it either. It doesn't make it right.
Tricksters.
Fuck you.
It's done, it's done.
Dire's structures are
Like,
fortified.
all right.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Well, that's really your angle back in, I feel like, your ultimates. And using it to maybe
Dire's
disrupt the
middle
tower
tower
push,
is
which
under
they don't
attack.
really care. And they're going to keep a creep anyway. And like,
Radiant's courier has been killed.
okay, I mean...
So you were saying Execration at the end of the draft is who you thought was going to win?
honestly, yeah. I still... I mean, they're this far behind, and I think it's a bit difficult now at this stage in the game.
Oh no. If they take away this Ancients, it's over.
Well, good thing you don't have Mortimer Kisses for it. You got Ravage, though. Like, how are you going to kill them? I mean, you got Ire, you got Reincarnation.
You can't contest this. Like, you don't have Primal Roar, you don't even have TP on
Radiant's
the
courier
Beastmaster, so
has
he's
been
going to have to
killed.
run his way up here, but the Ancients are gone. Like, most of them anyway.
They
You
are
can afford to
moving
leave
over.
one.
I'm going to try
do you
and
take this
set
without
up
the
a
kids?
blockade. I've got relatively good vision near the area, but how do you start the fight? Cuckoo's going to look to charge down Escort. Chains will hold them back. They're just kind of playing on the outskirts right now. They haven't found a comfortable angle in for the moment on T1. Just waiting to see if someone oversteps the mark, and that's going to be Vincenzo on the Tide Hunter. And now they'll look to Bob next as well, but a quick fingers gets the remnant away.
Radiant's bottom tower
Nonetheless,
is
so
under
you're
attack.
kind of happy with just getting the kill on Tide, considering you took all of that ancient stack.
Every single one. It's not great. I mean, the net worth is staying around 5k, I suppose, but 5k net worth lead this early on into the piece when you've got 3 heroes that, like I said, they want to be farming. They want to get a few of these early items, and the
Dire's
fact that
middle
you've lost the
tower
laning
is under
stage this
attack.
hard that they're not going to need to farm for as long. It's a big win coming through from T1.
The power that I was seeing with Execration was I think how they were able to play this later stages and even mid game off the back of their team fight. It just felt like if you can get your first kill of the game, it's always something to celebrate for the boys on Execration. So Bob, 326 gold for the Shadow Demon kill, nicely done, and might look to put a little bit of pressure on the T1 tower as well. I mean, if T1 bleed some kills like this and
Dire's top tower is
give
under
space to
attack.
They need to do
TA.
though, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're playing around with their entire team. They've got
Radiant's
all of their
middle
ultimates.
tower
They
is under
didn't
attack.
just reflexively use the Ravage in that past one. Sure, you lost the Ancients, but at least you were able to keep the Ravage, and now you've
Dire's
used that
top
to push
tower
into
is under
T1.
attack.
This is exactly what you need to do. They get rewarded with their first kill for it, and they get some more objectives. So I feel like you just got to keep doing this. He's going to continue farming because you need to. You know, they're going to be able to out-farm you while you're just balled up together. Both in gold and experience.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Fine. But again, it's more about just that little kind of stuff, right? I'm a little worried that Escort might be away from the rest of the team a bit too much. That they're going to punish him. Punish him somewhere else.
Scanning.
Okay, it's okay. Sorry.
Yeah, Gabby does eventually make the TP down to this bottom side. I wonder if they're going to make the remaining rotations through.
Dude, 3 times almost someone in Execration gets blown up and... Wait, now Did you drop Ravage? Carl, he's got BKB. Apologies. If you drop that, then I guess Carl just BKBs it off. Whitemon's nearby as well. Majora's still looking to posture pretty aggressively, but... Carl says, thank you for the free kill. I might even look for the Snapfire next as well. But now it's going to be the Shadow Demon stepping up. So they'll drop the roar, the Mortimer Kisses. But now with the relocate, Cuckoo's going to look to pounce on forward and, disrupt the ultimate usage from Samael. A couple of supports bleeding their life, and now a tier 2 tower soon to be under siege.
Whitemon lives as well. Full Mortimer's Kisses dropped onto him, and he just disrupts himself, and he's totally fine. Even with those Tranquil Boots, he's not going to have to walk on back to base. He's still going to play this protecting role.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, could you see where I was going with Execration's draft, or was, I just kind of gone crazy?
No, their team fight's good. I just feel like, again, those first 3 engagements, they just played it not the way that I would have.
Bob's going for it. Oh, Bob! Cookie, maybe to reposition. Silence about to expire. They still haven't killed Zephyr just yet.
Oh,
but this Io is making so much space. Someone kill Zephyr! He's gonna jump back on over. Now Cuckoo can fly. But the Scatter Blast is enough to get the kill along with the second life from Gabby. At least they'll pop the reincarnation. All in all, 1 for 1. Whitemon's still trying to chase down Vincenzo. They've got the trap to at least hold back the Shadow Demon. He might just look for a TP out though. Whitemon, can he get in range? No, we cannot.
So I was saying before that I really wanted to see Cuckoo go a BKB first item. He went something a little bit different. He's gone the Blink Dagger, which I don't hate it. It just, in my opinion, gives Execration an avenue to be able to turn around and burst him down, or he stops the Razor from having the impact that he has, right? Like, Carl went first item BKB. He went the way that I was kind of thinking that he was going to go for, right? So the way I'm envisaging these team fights happening is Cuckoo pops Dark Ascension, he blinks in onto the Beastmaster, you pop BKB and run forward on the Razor, but it leaves a small window for Vincenzo to get into position and drop the Ravage, so that at least you stop running with that Night Stalker onto the hero that you want to be able to burst down, and maybe they either get away from it so you can
when he gets the kill, he's got some teammates behind him as well. Zephyr's going to look to fly over. Can't protect him for the BKB, but it's not going to keep his life long enough. End up dropping here for the Razor. The question is, T1, can they get any more out of it? There's actually going to be the boys in Execration that will push them back. Lack of control, one of the issues here to keep them inside the Kisses. It will be a 1 for 2 in the end.
And just the use of the Kisses, it's nice to be able to bully them away, but Bob had a regen, so if they were able to just draw out that fight without committing too much on their ultimate, maybe they could have made the wraparound and, well, I was going to pay with his life.
Now, Bob's like, oh, get some revenge in blood. Especially with Escort being nearby as well, but you still, oh man, what a Centaur Conquer stun! Escort gets the Io along with the Shadow Demon, so you cancel the relocate. And now Cuckoo's actually going to be forced to pop the ultimate to try and find an escape avenue. Going to try and go for a TP out, they've got no cancel. Ravage being on cooldown, chains being used, so nice play from Cuckoo, but it was at least set up off the back of Escort's micro.
A really nice job there, and they end up smoking right underneath this Observer Ward, so good warding going on by Whitemon as they were pushing the tier 2 tower. They could be, but I mean, it's maybe actually, like, it's only about 30 seconds left on this nighttime, so it doesn't have the greatest way to be able to take a lot of these team fights.
And we really haven't seen Gabby through these fights. They are coming. You only got 3 heroes. Oh my, this is not good. Gabby's going to look to jump the Templar Assassin. Refraction's gone. They'll utilize the Ravage, but Carl's instantly going to BKB this off before the Templars are able to connect. They'll get rid of Mob. Now they're looking over to Escort as well. And you've still got the kind of cherry on top being that Roshan they can now fall back and claim as well. So like, thanks Execration, you just made this a little bit weaker for us to be able to now claim.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you saw the use of the Ravage there, but BKB makes it completely pointless. And Vincenzo realizing that they must have seen that coming. There's no reason that they would have come at that exact time to go for Roche, if not. So, gets the D-Ward off, but it's a little bit too late. You've given up a huge objective. Yeah, it's just gone from bad to worse, unfortunately, for Execration. In my eyes, in order to take a team fight, I'm going to sound like a broken record. You need Ravage, and you need the Primal War. And that's even without Cuckoo having BKB. Once he gets BKB, I think this game is done. You're going to be on the Beastmaster, you're going to have BKB available, so Tide's never going to be able to Ravage you and stop you from just running at the enemy team.
And it definitely feels like with how far behind you are, you're always going to lack a little bit of damage, and you're forced to use ultimates for a couple of kills that you feel like maybe you wouldn't necessarily have to, in a different game. But it's going to be so difficult now because you've got two saving supports on T1. So if you don't blow up the IO or you don't blow up the Shadow Demon, if you aim to get rid of a quarter star, I mean, these are T1 plays for a goddamn reason. Zephyr and Whitemon, we spoke about them in the previous game with how, solid of a support duo they are. They will keep a hero alive through that ultimate. And as soon as you waste your ulti, then T1 is just going to run rampant through kind of the second half of that skirmish.
They're just going to go for another play here again. All smoked up.
Oh, Mob.
Who's got the Dark Ascension.
Force, maybe even Cookie. Cuckoo's going to stay on top of the snap fight to at least take away that potential, the reposition. Carl's even going to offer some backstab potential. Zephyr's the one to find it. And now Cuckoo's turning his attention over to the Grand Martyr as well. As two down, a very, very quick maneuver off the back of the smoke.
Well, the wave isn't really all that pushed in, so I was... Oh, are they going to kill Bob here?
Oh my, Bob he went back into the triangle with his Remnant. Perch is a big way to deal with the Ember Spirit. Cuckoo's got Blink up in 3 seconds. They won't even need it as Gabby locks onto the Ember, brings him down with ease. I mean, this raking is so incredibly farmed.
Dire's middle tower is
I need
under
to buy
attack.
back here on the Ember Spirit if
Radiant structures
they do
are
continue the
fortified.
push. Oh man, I wasn't expecting that kill
Radiant
to come through onto the Tide Hunter. He just finished up the Blink Dagger, but that means he doesn't have buyback. And again, I was thinking, you don't have Dark Ascension. Maybe that you can go for a Ravage into a raw play
Dire's
to try and
middle
get something
barracks
back,
are under
but
attack.
it's not looking good right now for Execration. Although, nice little lane cutting going on for
Radiant's
Escort.
courier has been killed.
Oh, they're going to reload.
Oh no, Escort. Gabby's like, come on, give me that gold. That's gold that we could be getting across the map. And Zephyr, if you don't relocate me down, then there's a potential you being kicked next as well, buddy. So you better be on point.
You can't.
This guy is untouchable. Wait, the Gabby, the new addition, is already leading with a iron fist. I'm curious what your thought process is on Carl going Sunday Yasha. We really do not see Razor go like, maybe it's like plate mail before refresher. So like, what do you feel like this item provides the Razor in a game like this?
I feel like, of course, the movement speed's always going to be nice. It's going to be buffed up even further by the IO, and you are getting to this situation where you're just providing yourself insurance.
Vincenzo? Just solo Ravage used on Cuckoo, but he's going to shrug that off.
Where's the raw?
Radiant's top tower
And
is under
there will be no
Apparently
raw. And now Gabby's going to look to jump in. He's like, you lack damage? Well, brother, I do not lack damage at all. Gonna wait for the stun to be back off cooldown, but Vincenzo just keep what's going on. Okay, eyes up top as Mob's in trouble. He's gonna go for a TPR, but Cuckoo, you're utilizing the ultimate to get that mini stun. And now Mob will get the kill still. Oh, the illusion still kills him though. Oh my god. Oh, I say,
White Mom, what a shit.
it's like Cuckoo had to use the Dark Ascension to turn to nighttime, so now when he's back up, it's going to be down. Ravage on cooldown as well, but what a game we got.
I think you're fine with that. Anytime you're killing the TA, you don't care if you're giving up a Night Stalker for it.
Is under attack.
there's nothing really preventing them from just continuously running forward. I mean, I guess Aegis is going to be down in about 10 seconds, but I was about to say you'll have taken at least one lane of racks in the meantime. Maybe not. So no Ravage makes it very difficult.
Gabby's got the level 18. 60-second cooldown with the Reincarnation. You've now got Holy Locket and mechanisms for Zephyr as well. So, yeah, killing some of the cores and well, heroes in general in T1 is not going to be the easiest task.
Flesh sustains, gold remain.
Zephyr is just going to go into the Aghanim Shard next. I was debating whether he would go for that just to, again, provide more movement speed, plus, of course, the break, the tether stun coming through. It's going to be nice, but I was also thinking this is actually a game where Guardian Greaves isn't horrible for the IO. You're going up against Ember Spirit, of course, able to get out of the Spirit Chains. It means the TA goes into the Shard. It's going to make it difficult for you. Yeah, that's a very optimistic place to be able to farm on the enemy side of the map.
I mean, they just mass TP'd over because they saw where he was running through with that Observer Ward for the boys on Radiant. They also get the Helm. I think that was the first Helm of the Overlord creep as well. So plus 250 gold for Cuckoo. Which now... What did he just buy on the Courier? Oh, he's got the Aghanim Shot.
On Cuckoo?
Yeah, on Cuckoo.
I mean,
quite the item.
Beastmaster,
yep,
right?
Yep.
At nighttime, you can even get rid of that Helm of the Overlord creep. So, off Dark Ascension, guaranteed.
Okay, so, I mean, firstly, this is a ridiculously late timing on a Helm of the Overlord. It's 26 minutes in, and you've still got another 3 minutes until daytime. So, so pretty much this item is just useless until 30 minutes now. I guess, yeah, the ore is nice, but you could just get the Vlads for, what, 2,600 gold?
The lanes didn't go well, let's just say that.
Oh, Gabby's got a DD in the bottle. Still a little bit scared. I mean, is this just last game haunting them about that, what, 25,000 lead they threw?
Suppose, but maybe he might just be like, look, we're getting close to the BKBs. I was still holding a broom handle up until just now, so now he's got the Titan Sliver. Maybe with that he feels a little bit more confident. I mean, base attack damage increase for a Wraith King in particular, very strong. Not even take into account the status resistance benefit.
Double damage.
Alright. Top lane. It's gonna be Mob that's in trouble. Kuke is able to find him in the tree line, and with Zephyr and Gabby showing up as well. I was gonna say, Gabby's just gonna use the DD to farm, but no, they're able to catch out. Nice juicy target out in the lane, and well, they're gonna look to bring back the Night Stalker as well, just in case Zephyr's in need of some assistance here. And Cuckoo's gonna jump on over. Gets rid of the Helm of the Overlord. Mega value. 250 gold, thank you, sir. I mean, this Aghanim Shard shortly gonna pay off for itself. Oh, get the Courier. Oh my lord.
I love that. Just every single time he summons it, you're like, well, 250 gold for me. Who needs a minus?
And the uptime, at least with you on the map, is a big factor that is often overlooked. Because the Night Stalker's got very low mana pool. Your HP regen can be a little bit rough as Cuckoo just flies over. I'm just going to have to drop the BKB more defensively. He's still going to be cautious as well as Carl can just chase him down. He's maybe overstepped the line a little bit, but the BKB is still going to protect him for quite some time. He's got the refresher available as well, so Carl is able to reposition back to the safety for the rest of his team. Now they can just do the damage to the objectives.
Well, that's the first time we've actually seen Primal Roar.
Well, no, the BKB's on cooldown, force up. Vincenzo gonna try and jump the backline along with the Mortimer Kisses, but you haven't dealt with Zephyr, so the IO coming into safety. Whitemon's gonna reveal his position as well as Mob. I mean, it's just lost so much damage, so the TA is gonna be a non-factor through this team fight. It's gonna be all on Bob to turn it back around, but the silence is out, the control is there, the damage along with it. Down goes Bob. Down goes a second full set of barracks, and the second game as well is going to be to T1.
Very nice. I was saying before, that was the first fight that I saw that, in my opinion, they'd used the Primal Roar correctly onto the target that they actually wanted in the Razor. So it just came too little too late, right? 20k behind. don't even hate the play that Bob was going for at the very end there. You know, they were able to kill the Wraith King once. He wanted to go for the kill as, you know, the thing to give him that big gold injection as well, but just didn't end up eventuating. Good response coming through from T1 to be able to finalize that for themselves. So a little unexpected that they end up splitting this best of two in a 1-1, but, you know, kudos to Execration. They well deserved that game one victory, but this was business as usual.
Business as usual in the second game, but I think still important though for Execration, because saying that after they just lost a game does feel a little bit awkward, but it's a series maybe you're expecting to give a big edge over to T1. So the fact that you're able to trade against a team that is more than likely going to be finishing in, I mean, the top four, more than likely, you know, it's going to be the favorite for a lot of people. So the fact that you're able to trade this series puts you in at least a position where getting to the later stages of the groups where it's going to be really important off the back of these points to, you know, potentially even make it to the upper bracket, lower bracket, or even just qualify as well to the playoffs. So for Execration, you know, we saw off the back of their game one, just the bread and butter from them was exceptional. Game two, though, was just a completely different story. T1 just overwhelmed them through the laning phase, and that felt like it was really the downside for them, and they couldn't find an angle back in from there.
Yeah, this win definitely means a lot, especially because there's 9 teams in this BTS Pro Series 10 group stage, and only one is going home at the end of it. Top 4 go to upper bracket, 5th to 8th go to lower bracket, and 9th eliminated altogether. So a win like this, very valuable considering you were 0-2 going in today. But we've got 2 more series. What do we got coming up? Motivate Trust against Little Gun, I believe. So if you liked seeing the T1 tags, potentially we'll be seeing another one with, I'm not sure if 23 Savage has removed his from his name yet in game, but have to wait and see as he's been standing in. They've been getting some decent results, but they did end up going 1-1 against Yangon Galacticos yesterday. So it's not like he's this savior for Motivate Trust by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, well, we'll see if that changes in today, or if we're going to have, you know, kind of continue the trend with 1-1 so far. You know, at least 3 out of the 4 series have been 1-1s. So, you know, both these teams really looking to try to continue with a start and just further position themselves away from the middle of the pack. We'll send it over break. When we come back, we've got our second series, Motivate Trust, up against Lilga.